Ukrainians continue to make inroads with their counter-offensive against Russia, reclaiming more territory in the south and northeast.
Parts of those regions taken back from Russian forces less than a week after President Vladimir Putin illegally annexed them. ABC's M. Wynn has the latest from Washington.
In a major advance, Ukrainian troops have pushed into the southern Kherson region another 20 miles, according to Russian military bloggers. It comes a day after Ukrainian troops forced the Russian military's front line there to collapse.
This war has entered in a new phase.
Ukrainian soldiers celebrating the liberation of towns and villages along the way, tearing down Russian flags, some using them to wipe their feet. The governor of Kherson telling ABC News Ukrainian troops are less than 35 miles from the regional capital. Military experts saying taking that city would deal a huge blow to Russian President Vladimir Putin's entire military operation. Despite that, Putin signed laws finalizing the annexations of 4 Ukrainian regions into Russia, a move rejected by the United States and Ukraine and in defiance of international law. In Luhansk, the governor posting on social media that the deoccupation of the area from the Russian army has started, saying several settlements there have already been recaptured. Ukrainian President Volodymyr Zelensky vowing to present a draft resolution to the United Nations forcing Putin to pay reparations for the war. It's only a matter of time, he says, before we oust the occupier from all our land. The U.S. is pledging another $625 million in military assistance, including 4 HIMARS rocket systems and howitzer artillery launchers, which have proven highly effective on the battlefield against the Russians.
All right, here's a look at one of the art installations that you can find in downtown Winnipeg. This is part of Downtown Culture Days. We're going to learn more about the artistry behind this and the conversations it hopes to invoke. All right, our Joseph Bernacki's hanging outside in a beautiful park this morning where you're surrounded by a really cool art installation. Tell us more.
Absolutely, Nicole. Yes, joining us on the show this morning, we're really pleased to welcome Amr Abusif to the show. He's the creator of the Pegasus art installation to our left, and we really appreciate your time this morning.
Thank you very much for having me.
Yeah, so you're the second art installation we're showing on the show this morning where we can talking to the creator, which is pretty awesome. Tell us all about it, how you got the inspiration for it and its design.
Well, it's a Pegasus. It's a creature from Greek mythology. It is supposed to be the winged horse of Zeus, the king of the gods in ancient Greece. It is two-dimensional. I had this two-dimensional inspiration from a video game I played a few years ago. It's called Little Big Planet. It had these big monsters that are actually two-dimensional. So you see them very big, only from one side.
You're talking about the PlayStation 3 game. I would have also played that many years ago.
Yeah, that's correct.
Yeah, so I take it you must have an interest in Greek mythology then and history behind the design.
That's true, yes. I am interested in history and in these stories of ancient creatures and gods. And I like the story about the Pegasus, that it was a thunderbolt bearer of Zeus, and that at the end it flew to the heavens and became a constellation. I find that to be very inspiring.
So you're an architect by trade. What is the design made out of, and how long did it take you to put together?
Well, because my background is design, I studied architecture and landscape architecture. I'm used to model crafting and making. So it took me pretty much the weekend to put the body in place. And I had to build the wings after work, basically, in the last few days. So, yes, my experience helped me to build it at home.
Well, that's pretty exciting. Had you ever had a chance to build something of this scale before, or was this the first time?
I built a lot of models before, but never at this scale and never not related to architecture and landscape, actually.
Oh, it's the first time for everything then. And, we're celebrating Downtown Culture Days this week. We've got a number of different art installations in Stephen Juba Park this morning. What does it mean to see a celebration of architecture, of art, and other people's work that they're really proud of?
It is something really good to have. We have some good installations coming today. Some of them, I suppose, will be related to architecture and urban design, and I'm looking forward to see them. And it's good to have this in downtown, actually.
We're shortly wrapping up the segment, but Amr, is this something you'd like to continue doing going forward?
I would like to keep participating in such events, and thank you very much for having me.
No, that's wonderful, and we really appreciate your time this morning. And
thank you.
Back to you guys in the studio.
Looks like a lot of fun, some really talented artists in our midst. Thanks so much for that, Joseph. We'll check in with you later. All right, checking in once again with Danton Unger. We're talking all about, I think everyone might be a little shocked this morning. I know I was.
Yeah, me too.
What do we got on tap for the rest of the day, Danton?
You know what? It's a nice ease into what's to come. We won't talk about what's to come. We have some nice